that you saw there, they're very, very powerful, influential people on the internet. As I was telling you, you are within one or 2 degrees of separation with some of the most powerful people in the world, right, through this network. And actually, that was one of the biggest takers for James, which right now is actually the CEO of our Web Reactivators consulting branch. And he'll tell you a little bit more about it. We are now partners, we're running a business together, and he understood how this worked, and through my network, he started connecting with my other network of very, very influential people on the internet. And here actually, within a few months, he has not been even 1 year in part of the community, and he has accomplished amazing things. And here's what some of the top internet marketers in the world have to say about him. This video will actually introduce James Reynolds.
Hi, this is James Schramko, and I'm an internet marketer from Australia. And you're about to hear from James Reynolds. James Reynolds is someone who I met about a year ago, and in that short time has become phenomenally successful with his internet marketing. In fact, he's really the leader in the whole of the Dubai market area. He is very switched on, he totally gets it. Anything that he's got to say, you should pay attention to. He is a market leader. So I give him my highest endorsement. I've seen his results, they're spectacular, and you're in for a treat.
Dean from DeanHunt.com, and I want to tell you I secretly hate James Reynolds. Hate is a strong word, as is secretly, but I will explain why. James is one of life's overachievers. Everything he touches turns to gold. I've heard some of his results. I've heard the results he gets not just for himself, but for others as well, and frankly, they're phenomenal. And I don't know about you, but when I hear those sorts of things, I secretly hate those people. In fact, I've compiled a list of 74 reasons I secretly hate James Reynolds. So this is just one of them. Look, at the end of the day, if you're looking to grow your business, if you're looking to take your business to the next level, I can't think of a better guy to do that. He's been getting huge results in a very short space of time, which is always a good indicator to me. It's always a red flag that this person really is walking the walk and talking the talk.
Hey everybody, I just want to say a quick few things about James Reynolds. Number one, he makes me sick to my stomach because the guy takes action so fast. I've never seen anything like it. This guy gets results. He's one of my favorite people in the world. He's an excellent entrepreneur and also a really, really nice guy. So I highly suggest that you pay attention to anything and everything that James is doing and that he tells you to do, because he knows what works, and more importantly, he knows what doesn't work. He's the real deal, and you can't go wrong with James.
Fantastic. So, as you can see, he already, within less than a year, he has already accomplishing this. He has already been notorious within the internet marketing community around the world, and he's actually one of our rising stars in the internet marketing community in the Middle East. So, with a big applause, please welcome Mr. James Reynolds.
Hey. So, how are we doing this afternoon? We're not in the lunch slumber, are we? We're not all sitting here and falling into our seats. I'm going to need to wake you guys up a little bit, I think. So, right, we're here to talk about entrepreneurship. And I just want to start actually with a little poll to get a gauge of who we've got in the audience right now. So, stand up if you own a business or have an income source outside of your job. Just stand up now. We're going to get you guys a little bit more enthusiastic. Excellent. Okay, so that's probably 30-40% of the room. Stand up if you would like to become an entrepreneur. I like the idea of earning a passive income source, actually to fund your day-to-day living. Excellent. Well, the good news is you've actually come to the right seminar, so congratulations for that. But seriously, take a look around you. How many people are actually standing up or just stood up? Okay, you guys are in the right place. Okay, you guys are the action takers. So actually, I think at this point, I think you give yourselves a round of applause for attending today. Now, I've got no doubt that this session now with me is going to be the most valuable session that you attend of the day, because it's going to be packed full of content. So who's got pens and paper at the ready? Pencils, pads? Okay, because you guys will want to be taking some notes. There's going to be some great stuff here. You've got a pen. A pen will be fine. A pen will be fine. Okay, so what is entrepreneurship? Well, common thought would be that entrepreneurship is someone that takes over and above the normal level of risk in business. Okay, and that's what the dictionary says. But do you know what? I don't believe that in the slightest. And in fact, I think every one of the speakers that's been up here today would also say the same thing. So I thought yesterday, right, I'm going to prove this wrong, and I'm going to go and research on the internet and find out actually what entrepreneur really means. And I used a really sneaky tool on the internet to do my research. Okay, it's called Google. Really good one. If no one's heard of it, I'll happily give you the link to it. And I actually found out entrepreneurship comes from a 13th century word to begin something or to undertake. So it's actually all about taking action. It's not about being risky, it's about taking action. So who in here would be willing to take some action and perhaps a little bit of risk to invest in their future? Just raise your hands. Excellent. You guys are a good crowd. Fantastic. So, we've decided we're going to have to take a little bit of action, and of course this event is all about getting out of the rat race in 1 year. So, if we're going to get out of the rat race in 1 year, we're probably going to have to go through some changes, okay? Because we carry on doing what we're doing at the moment, we're still going to be sitting here in a year's time, taking more notes and going back to our job. So we decided we're going to actually have to go through some changes. But, what are the differences between where you are now and where you are in 1 year's time? What do you think some of those changes might be? I'm not talking about 3 years, I'm not talking about 5 years, I'm not talking about 10 years, because I'm going to prove to you that in less than a year, you guys can escape the rat race. So, let me just ask some of the guys in the audience, what do you think might be the difference between where you are now and where you are in a year's time? Mindset and goal setting. Anyone else want to elaborate on that? Come on, what's some of the changes? Gentleman at the back there.
In 1 year there.
You're going to be 1 year here? Fantastic. I like your attitude. That's fantastic. Give the guy a round of applause. Well, the difference between where you are now and where you are in 1 year's time is that you're going to have to take some action. Okay, so you've taken a bit of action. What else do you need to do? You need to take some steps. And this is the joke slide of the presentation. Perhaps only my British friends will actually realise what this is about. This was a really naff 1990s band, okay? They were a cover band. They did all sorts of different stuff and really nasty dance moves. But the point of the slide is, there is a story behind it, I promise. The point of the slide is that these guys absolutely, did they have any talent? No, well, if anyone knows the band, they definitely did not have any talent, I can tell you that. Did they have any extraordinary circumstances? Were they built, born into the right family or in the right city? No, definitely not. What these guys had was someone to tell them where to go, what songs to sing, the songs were written for them, what moves they had to do in the dances, and literally overnight they became a success. So they copied a formula. They had a formula they had to copy. So that's another really important thing. If we're going to be successful, we have to have some steps or we have to have some strategies. Now that's still not the total picture. Okay? You need to have some belief. Only when you believe what your mind can conceive will you achieve. And that's Napoleon Hill from the book Think and Grow Rich. Now if you've not read that book as an entrepreneur, you absolutely have to have that in your library. It's a really, really good book. But the thing is, action in the wrong direction, even with steps, if you don't have belief, you still won't succeed, okay? So let's just do a little poll now. Who believes that in 1 year's time that they can be out of the rat race?